Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a purchaser pass. I have not done one of these in a long time. I did film one about a week or two ago, but I ended up not publishing it or posting it or anything, just due to not feeling very well and things like that. So I am really excited to get back into things and film one for you today. So without further ado, let's get started. And as you can see, I've got my spooky stuff up and started. I am really digging like fall and Halloween decor this year. I'm digging like vampy, grungy looks. So definitely I think that will influence what my purchases are for this season. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the BH Cosmetics Drop Dead Gorgeous collection, which has two palettes and a glitter blood gel and then a brush set. There are a lot of people that are, sort of complaining that the collection is kind of poking fun at mental illness. And I can see where you're coming from with that, but you have to think about like how many movies and like scary movies and scary shows and stuff do they sort of play off of the idea that somebody has a mental illness and that's driven them to do something really scary. Because most people don't just wake up and decide to murder people like on their way to get groceries. Like they have something that snaps in them that makes them do these horrible things. So while I see what your complaints are, I'm not sure that I support that. And as somebody who has struggled with things like that in the past, not murdering people, but like anxiety and depression, I'm not offended by it, so I'm not gonna like go down that road for that particular product. The next thing is the Cash Beauty Reveal, which is a neutral toned 9-pan palette, some lash trios, and some neutral lip products. I personally don't know the person that is starting this beauty brand, so for me that's not a draw. And everything looks so neutral, so warm toned. I feel like I have that 1,000 times over in my eyeshadow palette collection, so I don't feel drawn to purchase based on like originality of these products. I have tons of lashes and I have tons of nude lipsticks, so I think I'm good on this. I'm gonna pass. The next thing is the Milani Halloween collections, and they've actually done, I think, 2 releases. So the first release had 2 different eyeshadow palettes, 4 glosses, 4 lipsticks, and then like all these like eye gems and diamonds that you could glue on your face. And then they released a 3rd palette with some lip products as well. I think this collection looks so pretty. The clear, like iridescent looking glosses have drawn my eye immediately. I'm sure the next time I'm in a store and I see these on display, I'm gonna end up picking up at least one of those glosses because they just look so pretty. And I am like a gnat to a light when it comes to like iridescent sparkly shimmery glosses, so that for me is a yes. Okay, Ellie Girl did these 9-pan palettes. They are very similar to the Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes that she did originally, and I can kind of appreciate like what they're trying to do here. And I really like the packaging, the way that it looks, and it has sort of like a color, like the plastic part of the packaging has a color based on what's inside, so I do appreciate that. But I think I already have these kinds of shades in my collections. I don't own the Huda Beauty ones, but I didn't feel the need to purchase those, so I don't feel the need to purchase like a cheaper dupe of those. Okay, and going on that same vein, Beauty Creations dropped a Dare to Be Bright collection, which has 3 different eyeshadow palettes, again in this like neon plastic packaging, which I'm so drawn to. The shades look really pretty, but I feel like with my current collection I already have things like this, so I don't need to purchase this particular launch, but I do think they're very pretty. The eyeshadow palettes are $13 each. There are some lip glosses that are $9 each, and a 15-piece brush set that is $22. And again, the glosses look pretty, the lipsticks look pretty. I just don't think I need them in my collection right now. Okay, Baby Fat Beauty is being created by Kimberly Simmons and her two daughters, and she's creating 3 different sets of a body lotion, a body spray, and a lip gloss for $45. When I look at these products, I see like what Bath and Body Works offered to me when I was in 6th grade. And it was like the shimmery body sprays and the super scented lotions and, you know, these super sticky, goopy lip glosses. I feel like we have come so far beyond that in beauty right now that we don't need to go backwards. So for me, this is an absolute pass, but I'm just wondering like how quickly this is going to end up at TJ Maxx. Okay, the next thing is the blush duos from Wayne Goss. They are the Weightless Blush Palettes, and I don't see a price on these just yet. Let me see if I can go check on his page specifically. Geez, Wayne, you not want to tell people how much these cost or what? Okay, we've got like full details about every single thing except for the price. I'm super perturbed. Whatever. Price is irrelevant. I know it's expensive. So, my point is, when I look at these duos, I immediately think to the Colored Rain Power Collection duos. They even have like this super, super bright fuchsia pink blush paired with the lightest highlighter, just like Power Collection. They have like a sort of light, medium, and then deep, you know, shades. I purchased one of the blush duos from the Power Collection. It was actually the second one because I felt like the first one the blush was too bright for me in terms of like the lightest shade. And again, this is exactly what Wayne Goss has done here. I don't know that he's copied or anything like that, but it just seems like that came out like a year ago, and now all of a sudden you're coming out with pretty much the same exact thing, but I'm sure at a higher price point because the Power Collection keeps going on sale 50% off. So if you want something like this, definitely check out Colored Rain. They are a Black-owned makeup brand, and they have super discounts. So I will be passing over that for sure. The next thing I'm going to pass over for sure is the Makeup by Mario collection. Now, this collection, I think they're designing it towards like pro makeup artists, but they're selling it to just regular makeup consumers. So I feel like there's a little bit of a mismatch there in terms of, you know, you're getting palettes that have like a removable tray so you can mix up pigments and this and that. Most people are not doing that on a day-to-day basis, so I feel like they need to reconsider what their target audience is and then angle the products towards that audience. If you want to go pro and sell at a pro makeup place. If you want to go, you know, regular consumer, then angle your products to be regular consumer friendly. For me, I think it's all super neutral, super done before. I don't need any of it. I don't care about Kim Kardashian. I don't care about Mario. So for me, there's no draw because of like the celebrity attachments, and there's no draw for me based on the actual like color of the product. So I'm going to pass on that as well. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, and probably nobody else is talking about, is these JCat Beauty Glitter Dazzle Eye Toppers, and they are a completely eye-safe glitter topper that you can put on your eyeshadows. They come in 12 different shades, and they're like sort of marbled in the pan, so you kind of swirl your finger into them and mix the colors up and then apply to the lid. I think these look really pretty, and they're like maybe $5 a piece, so they're really not too expensive. I definitely would be interested in trying 1 or 2 of these shades. The shades that I'm most interested in are Rise and Sparkle, Less Bitter, More Glitter. It's hard to pick a third because they all look so pretty. I would say probably Twinkle Twinkle. And just because of the variety of sort of warm toned and cool toned options, I think these are going to look really, really pretty on the lids. So if you see these at some point when you can actually swatch stuff again in stores, I would definitely take a look at those. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the Revolution Pro Crystal Luxe Face Palettes. And these are like face trios. They were sneak peeked, I want to say almost a year ago, and I got so excited. I was like, yes, sign me up, because they look like the Cover FX blush, monochromatic blush and bronzer duos that they have that are $38 a piece, and I was hoping this was going to be a little bit more affordable. And it also came with like a highlighter duo as well. So as soon as I saw those, I was like, yes, 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 I want it. And they have, I think, a light, I know they have at least 2. I don't know if they have 3 different shades based on like skin tone, but it does look like the dark one goes very deep. So I'm hoping that will be, you know, friendly to a lot of different skin tones. I am definitely looking to pick this up. It will have to be when I make the next order that I make from Revolution, because their shipping's kind of pricey. So I like to kind of order things in a batch instead of ordering like one thing at a time. And of course you have to wait for the shipping because it's coming from UK. They may eventually come to Ulta, I don't know. Some of the Makeup Revolution like Pro line does come to Ulta, but it usually takes like 2 months after the launch for it to finally show up in Ulta, so bear that in mind. Alright, the next thing is the Lip Bar concealer. It's called One Concealer Many Complexions, and when I first saw this, the way that they had demoed it, it looked like they were going to have like 30 or 40 different shades, because they put so many pictures of different people using the concealers. And so I was like, wow, they're putting out this like epic concealer range. And from, you know, a business that's person of color owned, I was so excited. I was ready to support. And then when I looked at it a little further, actually my aunt sort of clued me into this. There's only 6 shades. And they're suggesting that this one concealer in these 6 different shades will work for every single skin tone out there. And I just don't think that that's realistic, because concealer is not something like a tinted moisturizer where you can get away with a lighter shade or a shade that doesn't quite match you because you're really not wearing a lot of product. The concealer is going to be, you know, potentially under the eyes or throughout your face. Like, you really do need to have a concealer that's matching you more appropriately. So I'm kind of disappointed, especially in a brand that's coming from a person of color, that they felt that a 6 shade range was going to be sufficient. So I'll be passing over that one. But I do really like their lip products. If you are looking for like a nice gloss, they have a balm formula. So that would be something, if you're looking to get something from Lip Bar, try their glosses. Okay, the next thing to talk about is the ColourPop Hocus Pocus collection, and everybody is like losing their marbles about it. I actually rewatched the movie yesterday, and it was so enjoyable for me to rewatch it because I haven't watched it in so many years. When I was a kid, the first time I saw it, I absolutely bawled when the cat died. Like, Binks was like my buddy, and I had a black cat at the time, so I was like, oh my god, this is my black cat on TV, and then he dies, and I'm like, but why, you know? And even the fact that he like rejoins his sister or whatever, I was like, no, he needs to be Binks, he needs to be Binks forever. So I did not rewatch that movie for the longest, and then this year I was like, let me sit down and watch this movie, and I did, and it was so enjoyable to like relive that like 90s vibe, because it for sure has 90s vibe. Now, when I look at the names of all the products in the ColourPop collection, I get all the nostalgia, all the feels. I remember all the scenes, and even before rewatching it, I was like, oh my god, yes, that's hilarious. But when I look at the actual palette, I'm so disappointed. Like, the packaging and stuff, A+. That's pretty. I think it should have been the spell book, but they made it like words in the spell book, so it's whatever. But the inside of the palette is all neutrals except for 6 shades, where you have both a matte and a shimmer of the berry shade, the red shade, and the green shade. And I just feel like this was an opportunity that they could have done like a really bright, bold, vibrant, almost like a Good Sport Part 2. And I'll put a picture of Good Sport down here, which is the palette that got away from me. I'm so pissed about it, but whatever, it's fine. They could have really like gone somewhere with this palette, and instead they played it safe. And I feel like so many of their palettes recently have been playing it very safe. They're very neutral, they're very light, they're not person of color friendly, and they're just boring, bland palettes. So I'm hoping that ColourPop gets their head out of their behinds and goes back to producing like interesting color stories with like lots of varied shades, because they have done that in the past. Like Good Sport is a perfect example of that. But they just seem dedicated to the idea of like these generic bland neutral palettes, and I'm not here for it. As far as the liners are pretty. I don't need them. I already have colors like that in my collection. As far as the lip products, they made 3 almost identical like red berry lip products. One of them you can sort of defend. The Sarah Sanderson collection is sort of more purpley than the other 2, but they're all just kind of generic red shades. I appreciate what they were trying to do by like mimicking the reds that were worn in the actual movie, but I just feel like they could have taken that and done like a super vampy red. They could have done like a super vampy purple. They could have picked some really like intense colors instead of these more like similar shades, and they didn't. And as far as lashes, I have a ton of lashes. I don't need to buy any more right now, so I'll be passing over this entire collection, and it is so sad to me because I think the concept of the collection was awesome. I don't know if Disney like forced them to make it boring or if they just did that on themselves, but try better next time, ColourPop, please. Alright. And the next thing, okay, this is the thing that I'm most excited for. It is the Shroud Cosmetics and Beauty Bean It's Freaking Bats palette. This is by far the most interesting color story that I have seen in a palette to date, and I was so excited to order. Now, they had kind of a huge snafu with their ordering because a lot more people showed interest in the palette than what they were anticipating, so they did sell out of their pre-order in about 1 or 2 minutes. I know I was on the site and it went out of stock while I was putting in my PayPal information, which really pissed me off. But they did open it for just like a generic pre-order with an unknown ship date, so I did go ahead and purchase it. I have no idea when that will be coming. I will try to put a video together when it does come. Goodness knows when that could be, but I'm really excited that I'm at least in line to get my palette. I think it's a really pretty product. I've never tried Shroud before, and I'd love to support Beauty Bean, so yeah, I'm really excited about that one. Okay. The next thing is this KVD Vegan Beauty Glam Rock Shade and Light like quad. I'm not quite sure where they're trying to go with this brand at this point, because the products that they had from when Kat Von D was still there are being sold, and some of those products like the Shade and Light Contour Palette are really great, but the new products they've been putting out just look very lost. Like they're not sure what direction they're going in. They're just kind of throwing stuff out there to see what happens. So for me, this is a pass. It's neutrals with a pop of blue. I have tons of that. And I feel like that's about 2 years too late, because we were seeing tons of these neutrals with a pop of blue like years ago. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the Black Moon Cosmetics Urban Myth palette, and they did drop a sneak peek of the cover, which is absolutely beautiful. It's like a Loch Ness monster and a full moon. So pretty. So 100% on the packaging. When you open it up, the mirror is like alien shaped, and you have these really pretty like vibrant kind of primary and secondary colors, and then you have some really pretty shimmers. I think this palette is beautiful. It's $38, so I don't know if I'll be picking it up at least right away, but it's certainly something that I'm going to keep my eye on, and I'm definitely going to be considering purchasing more from this brand. My aunt did gift me one of their liquid lips, which is like a metallic, a metallic red shade, which looks very pretty. So I'll definitely be checking this brand out and kind of keeping my eye on them. The next thing to talk about is the Dominique Cosmetics lipstick and lip liner collection that they dropped. They dropped 6 lipsticks and 4 lip liners, and I heard somebody, I think it was Kelly Gooch, saying like she didn't really think that this was a very complete lip collection, and I have to agree, because while it's several shades, they all look almost identical, and I feel like when you have other brands like Persona that are dropping these really cohesive, comprehensive nude lip collections, you kind of have to keep up. So for this collection, I feel like it's really angled towards like light to medium skin. I would say it's not really angled for fair skin, and it's not really angled for deep or deep dark skin. So I feel like that was a real miss. I know Dominique, Christian Dominique, whatever her name is, she is kind of that like medium skin tone, so I can see where she was going, but I feel like she designed these more just for her own skin tone and kind of forgot about everybody else. So that would be my criticism for this particular product, and I'm not going to purchase. The next thing is this Empowered collection from Ofra Cosmetics, which includes a 5-pan eyeshadow palette, which kind of goes like that chartreuse green kind of family. I don't know if that's like the color of the year kind of thing, but I feel like a lot of brands are bringing out products that kind of have those shades in them, and I'm definitely not mad at it. I think those colors are really pretty. I've played around with some of them in some of the palettes that I do have, and I do like how it looks. So I'm definitely interested in that. I think those palettes are priced around $32 though, so for me it's a little more expensive than what I would want to pay, but certainly, you know, if I saw it on sale, then I would definitely consider it. Okay. The next one, it really doesn't make sense to me, but it is the Hip Dot and Tapatio Hot Sauce collab. And so it looks like they made 2 little 6-pan palettes, and then the PR box has hot sauces and a sponge in it as well. I think the concept of this is really cute, but the problem is they have these just very warm toned neutral palettes, and they have a lot of like reds and oranges that are very bright, but they don't have anything that's like really deep, so everything is kind of like this mid-tone. And I think that's what the palettes are lacking and why I'm not drawn to them as much. So I'll be passing over this one, but I do think it was an interesting concept that they went with. The next thing is the Nabla Cosmetics lip plumper called Viper, and it's in this really pretty red packaging with this kind of like viper snake all around it, and it's supposed to be like a clear lip plumper. I have no idea if it's going to be a really intense plumper or if it's going to be more mild. I can tolerate like the Soap and Glory and was the other lip plumper, like Buxom. I can tolerate those lip plumpers. The Too Faced lip injection plumper actually caused like a chemical burn on my lips, and I wasn't able to wear any lip products for like a week after that until it healed. So if it's something that intense, that will be an absolute no for me. But I'm definitely interested in trying it. I'll probably wait until it hits the Ulta website to order it and try it, just because shipping from Italy, I have no idea. Nabla is an Italian indie makeup brand, so I have no idea what the shipping process or timing would look like, and I don't know if I would need to pay like import taxes or anything. So I'll wait until Ulta has it and then pick it up then. Alright, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about, we'll end things on a spooky note, is the collaboration between Makeup Revolution and Nightmare Before Christmas. I've personally not seen Nightmare Before Christmas, so it's probably something I need to add to my list, because my best friend growing up, middle school, high school, she is obsessed. I actually got her some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff last year for Christmas. But these little palettes, they look very similar to those like gradient palettes that they released that were $20, those color book palettes. But I want to say his name is Jack Skellington, maybe? Hopefully Anna doesn't like crucify me in the comments. But his palette has lots of like really cool colors, so I would definitely be more drawn to that one than I would to the Sally palette, because that one is just very, very kind of neutral, bland, and so I'm just not really excited about that. The highlighters look cool, the lip products look cool, the bags look really cool, so if nothing else, like maybe the bags I would take home. But the whole thing looks really, really nice, and I do love the highlighters have sort of his face imprinted in them. There's one, it looks like it's called Moonlight, Mischief, and Madness, that looks a little bit lighter, and then a Misfit Love, which looks a little bit deeper. So I do like that they're trying to cater to more than one skin tone with the highlighters that they release in a limited edition collection like this. So possible that I will pick that up at some point, but certainly not going to be something I pick up today. Now, with that said, that is everything that I wanted to talk about this week in my purchase or pass. I will be filming a holiday related video soon, so if there were some holiday releases you're like, Heather, you totally skipped over those, I know it's coming. Please feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know the things that you're interested in this week, and the things that you're going to pass over. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to catch you in my next video.